How's it going, everybody? This is Beat the Bush. Today we're gonna pack about 8 lunches that are delicious and nutritious, and it only costs about $1 each to make. In order to make your $1 lunch, you have to buy your groceries at a really low cost. One of the lowest priced meats you can buy is a whole chicken, which when it's on sale, it can get close to about 79 cents a pound. You can either buy this chicken and roast it yourself, or you can just go to Costco and buy the whole chicken for only $6. It's a bit less hassle if you have a Costco membership, but today I'm going to show you how to roast the chicken. It'll only take about 10 minutes prep and maybe an hour and a half in the oven. So let's just get to roasting the chicken. So here's the whole chicken. You can see that it's about 6 pounds here and $1.59 a pound. It costs $10, but I got it on sale for 79 cents a pound, so it's really only $5 for this whole chicken. You have this thing that weighs it down. You can't eat this, but you can just squeeze away all the liquids, toss it away pretty easily, and put it back in there. Take out all the insides. Well, let's make the marinade. I don't like to make it too salty, so I'm only gonna put half a teaspoon of salt and then half a teaspoon of garlic powder, about 1 teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of parsley flakes, 1/4 teaspoon of thyme. Now you can pretty much do anything you want with the marinade. I put only half a teaspoon of salt because I prefer low sodium foods. The paprika would be good to leave in, and you can just put in a little bit of pretty much any kind of spices you like to change the flavor. Get about 1 tablespoon of butter. Now just melt the butter in the microwave, maybe about 30 seconds covered. Okay, it's melted now. Now I should emphasize that whatever you make, you should only keep about 1 or 2 meals ahead in the fridge. Anything more than that, you should really freeze all of that and unfreeze it later on, because that would keep things a lot fresher and it'll taste a lot better. When you do unfreeze it, thaw it the night before, it's good to season the outside and inside, and also if possible season in between the skin. This is the same method you do with a turkey, and that would allow the seasoning to soak into the meat. Large fat pieces, just remove those. And if there's anything that looks dirty, just cut it off. Just take a little bit of the salt, use maybe only 1/4 of this on the outside, and just rub it around. And then take some more of that and rub it on the inside. And then what you do here is try to get in between the skin carefully so you don't poke through the skin, and then if you can, get around the drumstick too, and then grab a good portion of this stuff and just spread it inside. Now this is going to flavor it really well because you put it in the inside. I know this looks kind of weird, but that's how you do it. I didn't put the butter in because if you stick the butter in there, the butter will solidify and it'll just stick to your hands and the butter won't go into the chicken. So what I like to do is you stand it up a little bit, pour some of this in, half a tablespoon on one side, half a tablespoon on the other, and just kind of go in there. And then you flip the wingtip, you fold it back on itself. So I'm just gonna tie the legs together, and it doesn't have to be really that close together. In order to get a crispy skin, just put some oil all over. This is kind of like sunblock for the chicken. Oil the back. Alright. Breast meat actually cooks faster than thigh meat, so we want to protect the breast meat a little bit so that they would have even cooking time. So what I like to do is just grab a piece of foil like this, just wrap it around like this, and halfway through cooking you remove this cap and let the whole thing cook. The last thing we want to do is put a temperature gauge in between the thigh bone and the breast meat. So it's somewhere over here. You can kind of feel around for the thigh meat. Just insert it in there somewhere. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so now it's ready for roasting. 2 oven racks, 1 rack here, and the bottom has some water in it to catch the drippings. I'm just gonna put this chicken right directly on top of the rack. We have the temperature gauge here. We're going to wait until the thigh temperature reaches 165 degrees. That's when the chicken is just cooked. We like it like that because it's most tender that way. So I put the other parts of the chicken in there. It's most likely gonna be done way before the chicken will be, so I can take it out maybe half an hour, 45 minutes into the cooking. Prepare 3 cups of rice that will split into 4 portions. Here's a 2-pound bag of Brussels sprouts. It costs $5 and I will split it into 8 portions. Wash the Brussels sprouts and cut them into quarter sections. Add some pepper, some salt, and add some honey. Kind of mix that up. Okay, make some room for the Brussels sprouts and stick them in there too. So it's done cooking, so just portion this out into 1/4. Each one of these is 3/4 cup rice for a total of 3 cups here. If you prefer to eat less starch, you can just change the proportion to whatever you like. So I got the Brussels sprouts ready here. I just put this in along with the chicken. Remove the temperature gauge, remove the string. You can just start cutting off pieces, portioning it out. One leg like this can be for one meal. Remove the whole breast like this. The idea is to get most of the meat off so you can save the carcass for whatever soup later on. Just try to remove all the meat with your fingers. Just cut this into thirds and add a little bit to the chicken wing, so this makes 1 portion. Just slice through the chicken breast so you won't have one big chunk. And portion some of this dark meat along with the breast meat. Just even it out so that roughly every portion is about the same. So it ends up looking something like this, where you got 60 cents worth of chicken, 60 cents worth of Brussels sprouts, and about 10 cents worth of rice. So all this together, only about $1.30. Now the other meals is still the same cost. It has half the chicken breast and half dark meat with the Brussels sprouts and the rice. Now I recommend to carry your lunch with some glass containers and carry the meat and the vegetables and the rice separately, because you want to heat these up a lot and only warm the meat, because you don't want to cook the meat at all in the microwave and they'll taste a lot better. For the rest of these, just wrap them up in saran wrap and freeze them until you're ready to eat. Just go like that. Wrap them, wrap them, wrap them. You got 1 meal of meat right here. 2. When you're ready to defrost these, just pull one out of the freezer and stick it in the fridge the night before, and they'll be ready to go the next day. So that's all there is to it. A delicious meal for only $1.30 each. You actually don't need to roast your chicken, but as you can see, it's pretty easy. It only took me about 15-minute prep time and just doing other stuff while it's roasting for about an hour. 165 is a safe temperature, but I waited for the chicken to hit about 170 Fahrenheit internal thigh temperature before I took it out. And if you feel really lazy, you don't actually have to roast your own chicken. Like I said, go buy a Costco chicken and just tear it up. Freeze most of it except for the meal you're eating currently and the next meal, because if you just leave it in the fridge and just try to consume it over the week, it actually goes bad a little bit at a time and it doesn't taste very good. That's all there is to it for a really cheap and delicious healthy meal. One, it's not red meat, it's just chicken, and a lot of fat actually gets stripped off of the chicken here. So that's all I have for you today. This is BeatTheBush. Don't forget to give me a like, comment down below, or subscribe over here. Thanks for watching.